Welcome back to GGC Outdoors, everybody. Today we're going to do a different kind of tech review. As you've seen through the rest of the videos on the channel, you're going to see a lot of reviews on the stands and hunting equipment that we have, but the one thing we really haven't touched too much on is the equipment we use to actually harvest the animal that we're looking for. I know Jeff did a review when he got his bow in the mail, but he has yet to shoot it, and today's the first time he's shooting it, so we'll see how that goes. But we're going to start off this, and we kind of have different levels of like the price points and the quality of bow. Now, I don't think there's such thing as a poor quality bow of today. If you're going to buy a bow, you're probably going to get one that's going to be able to harvest an animal, unless it's a Amazon special that has like a 20-pound draw. One thing I will say off the bat is whatever bow you decide to choose before you make a decision, a decision could be from this video or it could be from other reviews you see. This is just what we use. But make sure you know your legal limits as far as draw weight and poundage, because here in Ohio, your bow has to shoot at least a 40-pound draw to be legal. So make your decision based off of the legal limits of your state that you're hunting. But today, this is my setup. Now, I bought this in late 2021, almost 22. This is the Elite ENKORE 33. And I'll go through everything that's on this bow, but this is a 33-inch axle-to-axle bow. It has 37-inch cables, and the feet per second it's rated for is 340 feet per second. Now, one thing I want to let everybody know is feet per second at IBO speed is a lot different. If you're able to use a chronograph on your bow to get the IBO speed after it's all set up, it's going to be a lot slower than your feet per second rating. But this bow is set up to 70-pound draw. It's at 29-inch length, 29 and a quarter actually, and on this bow right now, I have the CBE Tactic Micro sight. It is a 4-pin. Actually, it was a 5-pin. I took the 5th pin out. But it's an adjustment on the fly kind of bow, or kind of sight. So you don't need any Allen wrenches at all. It's all micro tune. I found, and we've learned through issues, because when you transport a bow from your car or you're even on the airplane or whatever, it's going to get bumped. And if you don't have the right Allen wrenches, and I think Jeff can attest to this, we've done this before, we don't have the Allen wrenches to move the sight, and we just kind of rock with it. This one, you don't need any of that. It does come with the sight light. I don't really use it that much. And the quiver attachment I have is off of a fuse quiver. I didn't buy the CBE quiver because I already had this. And I have an octane stabilizer on it. This is a $25 stabilizer. You don't need anything crazy. You just want a little bit of forward weight. But this bow right here, brand new when I bought it. Now, it's a lot cheaper if you buy this right now because this is an older model. But they do have the new ENKOREs. They have the Cures, a bunch of different stuff. But when I bought this, it was $11.99. You do not have to spend thousands of dollars to get a bow that shoots and kills. The bow I had before this was a 2007 Hoyt Tricon XL. And I knew once I finally got a new bow, I was going to get the one I want. It wasn't because of the price of it, it's because of the one I wanted. This bow has a 90% let off, so you can literally pull this bow back away from your body and go like this, and it will not collapse down on you. Now, when it does finally collapse down, you're going to go from 90% of the weight that your bow has down to 100% of the weight, so you're going to go from 60 pounds, and you're only holding back 10 pounds to full 70 pounds before it compresses. So a lot of people, the let-off's great, but sometimes it sucks for back pressure. Sometimes it might want to collapse down on you. I mean, it all depends on the type of bow and the back wall. This is by far the most sturdiest back wall on a bow I've ever shot. Now, I was a Hoyt guy through and through before this. I loved Hoyt, always wanted the Carbon Spider when it came out. Now the RX, stuff like that. But this bow here sold me when I pulled it back in the bow shop and the guy let me pull it away from my body and it didn't collapse down. So that's another thing. If you have bad shoulders, I think this thing is user friendly, so you don't have to go to a crossbow yet. Nothing wrong with the crossbows. I just know how crossbow and compound bow people act when they talk about each other. But we're going to shoot this bow a little bit here. It comes in right at I think 5.5 pounds. So it's not the lightest bow in the market, but I found out in heavy winds, which we hunt in a lot, unfortunately, here in Ohio, it's a little more sturdy. And with buck fever, you got a light bow in your hand, you're going to be jumping around a lot. So this is where this comes into play. But we're going to show this thing shooting, see how loud it is, and I can show you a demonstration on the let off and how you can hold it out from your body and stuff like that and see how quick it is. All right, everybody, now that we got the quick release on, before I put an arrow in this, I'm gonna put this thing at full draw and hold it out from my body. That way you guys can see the actual demonstration of this. I don't want to throw an arrow in it and do it because we're at a public range, and just in case, safety first, nothing's worth somebody's life, so I want to make sure we do this right. But the one thing you want to look for in a bow is something that you don't have to go like this to pull back, because if you have to go into this position, it is way too high on poundage and you're going to get picked off. If you're sitting there in a tree stand and you're able to pull it straight back like this, now you want to pull and push at the same time, but if you have to go like this, that deer's going to catch that movement every time, 100 times out of 100 times. But you pull it straight back like this, right? But look, I can sit here and hold this bow back for as long as I need to, because right now, with 90% let off and just 70-pound draw, I'm only holding back 10 pounds. So as long as I need to. Me and Jeff got into a situation last year where I had to hold this bow back for almost 2.5 minutes. And that's long. But that's why, and I have a bad shoulder. I have a couple tendons ripped, and this is saving me from having to go to a compound, or not compound, but a crossbow. Nothing against crossbows again, but I'd rather challenge myself a little bit more with the compound, and then eventually I'm going to go to a recurve, and that's further down the road. That's if I start getting good, a little bit better with this. But I wanted to show everybody the let off on this thing and how it really can save you a shoulder or two. All right, so now that we got my hunting arrow set up, it's just a 6.5 carbon Easton, so 6.5 millimeter. I was shooting smaller diameter, heavy arrows last year, and we can go over arrow setup in a different video. But I wanted to see how quiet this bow is, how dead in the hand this bow is, and it doesn't really try to jump out. You don't feel much vibration. I mean, it's a smooth shot cycle. All right, so the goal is the blue tape. I sighted this bow in for broadheads because I only shoot broadheads, but we're at a public range that does not let you shoot broadheads. So apparently I can shoot
right here, Rick.
Yeah.
No problem.
So apparently, without even realizing, I can shoot field points still. So I might just go ahead and start shooting field points if they're that accurate.
At the deer?
No. I'm talking about for practice, because shooting broadheads, it isn't that big of a pain, but it does tear up some targets. And if you don't have the right target, you're going to be fighting with it a little bit. We ran into that before. But I will say this, that might be a testament to the certain kind of broadhead where I'm shooting. I'm not going to sit here and talk about it because that's a whole nother story. But I'm going to go pull the arrows and see how tight the two that I shot is. For anybody that wants to know how dedicated we are to filming this stuff, it's 9 degrees outside. So at 20 yards, they're about 1 3/4, 2 inches apart. I'll take that, especially with never shooting field points out of that bow. But as far as the bows we have here, that is the review on the Elite ENKORE 33. It's a 2021 model. Now the new ones are going to shoot faster, they're lighter. If you want to know what colorway that is the QU Verde edition. They ran that limited. I don't know why I like that QU, but they ran it very limited for the 2021s. Now it's available in everything you got, but I'll list the link below in the description. That way you know exactly what bow we're looking at, and it'll show you the specs and everything else. So we got a couple other reviews on the other bows, the other guys, so we'll see how they shoot, and stay safe, everybody, and happy hunting. Thanks for watching.